Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray. This is Gray's Guitars. Thank you for watching. Today we're going to be talking about the topic, the magic of music stores. It's been a while since I've been into any music store, and I was down the line today, or I guess farther away from my house, whatever you want to call it, and I was in the vicinity of a music store as I was doing other errands for the day. And I was like, you know what? I haven't been into an actual music store, like a good one. I'm not talking like it's like a pawn shop and they got a couple of Squiers and maybe Gibson Les Paul Studio in the corner with like a PV Valkyrie amp or something, Valve King, whatever, in the corner with some decent gear, but nothing like, oh my God, look at all this stuff. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go into this music store and see what they got. Because this is one of these bigger music stores. It's not a Guitar Center, but it is like a big semi-local. It's probably like a 45-minute drive for me to get there, so I don't go there very often, music store. And everything in this store is just massively expensive. And yes, they do have some cheaper stuff, but that is definitely not the people they are catering to. I'm talking USA Fenders, USA Gibsons, Rickenbacker, Taylor, Martin, big acoustic section, a lot of stuff not under $2,000, stuff that I can technically, yes, afford, but I'm not going to go drop $200 or $2,000 on an acoustic guitar right now when I got a decent one myself. But things that are like, oh my God, I never thought I'd see this. Like, I've always wanted to play a Rickenbacker. And lo and behold, I found that 12-string Rickenbacker with the... it's kind of got like a cherry sunburst-ish like finish. I don't know what their definition of it is called, but I think it's like a Beatles guitar essentially. It's a 360. And I was like, you know what? I have always wanted to play a Rickenbacker. And I plug it in, play it, and I was like, wow, this thing sounds really, really good, but I don't want to spend $2,300 on a 12-string. I do technically have a 12-string with a double neck Firefly guitar, but it's not super practical. Sitting down, I'll play it, not once in a while, but it's not something I'm playing every single day. And I'll be honest, in terms of practice, if you saw my last short video, it was a couple minutes long, I haven't been practicing a lot. I tend not to. If I'm not in an actual band, I don't feel like I have that weight on my shoulder that says, hey, play the guitar, play the guitar. And yes, every once in a while, I'll pick it up, maybe every week or so. But it's not something where I'm like consistently practicing for like a half hour to an hour every day. That just doesn't happen for me anymore. And it's not that I don't have the time. I have the time right now. I just don't do it because, I don't know, maybe I just don't feel like it. I don't want to. Maybe some of it bores me. But then, I'll be listening to a song on the radio or something going to work. Yes, the radio, because I'm old. And then I'll be like, I want to learn how to play that song. And then guess what? I pick up the guitar and a couple days later learn how to play the song. And there we go. But I went to the acoustic section first, which is kind of surprising for me because I usually end up going right for the electrics. But I went in there and I was like, oh my God, right smack dab in front, a brand new Gibson SJ200 for $3,000. Now, am I going to pay that? No. But I'm going to play it. I'm going to be a looky-loo and I'm going to touch everything and play everything and tune everything. And it's just nice going to a physical music store because you get to interact with people that like the same things you do. You get to have a conversation. I was having a nice conversation with a guy. He had never heard of the brand Eastman. And if you don't know what Eastman are, they are a high-end brand out of China. I know, high-end in China. A lot of people don't know what that means. But yes, China can make solid guitars. They're a very reputable company, make really good violins. And I picked up one of their acoustics. It was kind of like a replica of a Martin D28, and it sounded and played fantastic. I picked up a Gibson Hummingbird Studio. At some point, I'd like to buy a Gibson Hummingbird. That thing sounded fantastic. And then I went after the cheaper stuff. I saw they had a couple of Yamahas. And that's what I own right now is a Yamaha. It's an AC3R or R3. I always get the name mixed up. But picked up a couple of those, sounded really great, and ultimately I was like, you know what? Sure, this thing is a really cool guitar and it sounds fantastic, but does it sound $2,000 more than my current acoustic? Fantastic. And ultimately the answer to that is no. I feel like you get to a certain price point and it's like, yeah, it's the same woods. You're using the same, spruce top, rosewood back and sides. Everything's the same as the Martin. Sounds the same. The main difference is polyurethane versus nitrocellulose. And acoustics, you're definitely going to hear a difference. Electrics, Probably not as much. They say everything affects the tone, and technically yes, depending on sometimes it's minuscule sales, but wood types, carved tops, solid bodies, neck through, bolt-on neck, polyurethane, nitro, everything theoretically. Maybe the switch tip, maybe the plastic affects the tone. Who the heck really knows? I feel like on an electric though, it's like 90% pickups and electronics and 10% everything else. But just as I said, just going in there made me want to play. Just going back to the magic of a music store is I went in there, there's a local mom and pop I have that's fairly close. I go there for strings all the time. Picks, straps, every once in a great while, he's got a cool pedal or cool guitar that I pick up. Doesn't happen very often. But it's not just primarily an instrument store. There's a bunch of other stuff in there too. So I don't 100% consider it just an instrument store. But the place I went to today, 2 stories, man. You got guitars and basses everywhere on the bottom, and then you go up top, you got your keyboards, your home studio recording, your drums. It's microphones. I was primarily in the guitar section. Gray's Guitars, the channel, duh. But they had a really ridiculous amount of cool stuff, and it just baffled me that I was like, oh my god, there's so many expensive things in here. They had stuff in locked up cases that you couldn't touch. They had like a real 1960s, I think it was like an ES335 or something that was locked up in ridiculous amounts of money. But, the coolest part, though, was it's not like some music stores have been in the past. I think Guitar Center's fixing it now. I need to go to a Guitar Center again and check out how, after the new CEO kind of said, hey, let's bring all the expensive gear down for people to try. That's what these people have done and been doing. They bring the expensive gear to a level where, sure, maybe you're a teenager and you can't afford it right now, but maybe you pick up an American Strat, Telecaster, Mustang, Les Paul, whatever, $2,000-$3,000 guitar, and you think, you know what, I am going to buy that one day. That is what I want. That is what I want to achieve, and I am going to purchase that because I played that guitar, it sounded fantastic, and I want it. And that's kind of where I was at. There wasn't a single guitar that I played at the store that I was like, wow, this is a piece of crap. Like I literally could not find a single instrument. I mean, I played 6 or 7. I didn't pick up everything on the store. But as I said, I picked up a couple of acoustics. I picked up that 12-string Rickenbacker. I did pick up a brand new, inspired by Gibson 1959 Les Paul with the rosewood fretboard. And I found out I don't like custom buckers. Who knew? That's a pickup that I've actually never personally tried until today. And they were microphonic, and some people, that's how they made them back in the 50s and 60s. They didn't wax pot them. These are wax potted. Most of my guitars are wax potted. I'm used to the sound. You turn up the gain. It doesn't give you annoying squealing microphonic feedback. If you tap the pickup, it doesn't echo through your amp super loud, and that's what I did. I tapped the pickup, and I was like, wow, that is obnoxious. And at lower volumes on clean, yes, those PAFs, custom buckers, sounded fantastic. But the second I turned the gain on and cranked it up a little bit, my God, the squealing was ridiculous. And also for $1,300, they had a lot of better stuff. I'll be honest with you. You could get quite a few USA-made instruments for $1,300. A Strat, a Mustang, a Telecaster, a used Les Paul Studio, a newer Gibson SG. So I feel like Epiphone is pricing themselves out of the market to a certain extent when if you go used and you go to a reputable store where they'll set the thing up for you, you can get a USA-made instrument easily for $1,300. There is no reason to be paying that just because it has Gibson custom buckers in it. I know they sell those things for like $500 a set. On the used market, they go for like $300. So if I do ever buy an R9, because that's kind of like in the dream guitar collection, is maybe one day I'd like to buy an R9. I might be buying an older one that does not have the custom buckers in it. Not all custom buckers are the same, or either that, or maybe I'll get one. I think what is it, Sweetwater? I know one of those companies they call it a sugar bucker, which is essentially a same exact thing. It's a custom bucker but wax potted. So maybe I'll go that route when I save up enough money in the future. One day, do I need it? No. Do I need it? I have a couple of Gibson Les Pauls. I have this Epiphone. Do I need another Les Paul? No. But do I want it? Yeah, I kind of do. But you gotta just go to your local music shop, no matter how big or how small. Pick something up, play it, support them, buy a pack of strings, buy some picks, a cable, whatever. It doesn't, you don't have to go in there and spend $1,000 every single week. Just support them, because if you don't support them, they're gonna go away. That's ultimately what's happening. You see a lot of these companies are going out of business, several big ones in Europe recently. I personally never heard of them, but they're kind of like, I think, our Guitar Center equivalent or something very close. And they're gone. Everything's getting switched to online. And just physically going in the store once in a while, picking up all these crazy instruments, interacting with people in the community, it just makes for a good time, a great day. I was in there for a couple of hours. I actually ended up helping a younger kid. I was like, well, what kind of music do you like? You like it extra slinky, you like tighter strings, what kind of guitar shapes are you looking for? And I don't know if you bought anything, but I was just interacting with the kid, trying to help point him in the right direction and find something that he liked. And pass the torch on, enjoy the community. Go outside once in a while, touch some grass, if you will. I know a lot of us guitar players are locked up in our rooms, staring at our computer, just scrolling on eBay and Reverb, trying to find the next piece of gear we want to add to our collection. So I'll end with that. Thanks you for watching. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, like, share, comment down below, all that good stuff. Let me know what you want to see for future guitar music related content. And until next time, have a good one.